Wow, so it's been a minute. Hey you, my name is Tori. I talk about personal wellness, growth, and development. I'm a mental health counselor, and I also have some personal experience in recovery and a healing journey of my own. I haven't really had much of a following on here, but I took a little bit of a break. I muted my account. My friend had passed away and I had just started a new job, and I just kind of wanted to take some time to really kind of soak in the new transitional experience. A lot has changed, a lot of updates. I'm really enjoying where I'm at right now. First things first, I love my job. I love it so much. Doing something that I am so passionate about and where my heart and soul is, it really feels so rewarding. Every day I'm just reminded when I sit with people how honored I am, how blessed I am to be the person that is in this role for them. When I was in grad school, I talked a lot about being lonely and feeling like I didn't really have a social life because everything is just so much and so busy. Thankfully, now that I have more time and I can create my own schedule, I've been getting back into things that make me who I am, like dancing and going to church and writing and being involved in communities that share common interests and common values. I feel a lot more confident and sure of myself. It's really cool to look back on videos I posted and notice how in it I was and how exhausted I was and how much was going on at that time where I was so really figuring it out, and you could just see it. I feel how exhausted in my face I was and stuff, and just my affect, and I really feel I've grown so much, gained so much experience, gained so much confidence, and a lot has changed. The holidays passed, it's a new year, I'm 30, I went on 2 vacations. I went to Miami in March with my best friend, and then I met my other best friend in Santa Fe, New Mexico, just last week. So it's just really I've been so blessed to reconnect with people I love and to not feel so isolated and studying and a really tough schedule. I feel blessed to make new friends in church and dance, and I want to keep this momentum going. It's hard to know the balance and the boundaries with how do I be a counselor and not fear clients coming across my social media, because YouTube is one thing, it's pretty big. I don't really have much of a following. But I used to do TikTok, and my account is also deactivated there. And years ago, I got up to 250,000 subscribers or followers, whatever. Just by being myself. I would do funny videos. I would dance. I would do my makeup. I would share about my condition. I would I feel I just was who I was, and that to know that what gave me a following, and to know that no matter so many videos of mine went viral, but they were all kind of different things I was doing. It's really cool to know that people followed me and the natural content I was putting out, rather than me going on trying to be something or trying to stick to one thing. And I think that's also what I kind of want to do here. I think that talking about personal wellness and our growth and healing and stuff, that's definitely the main thing. So more so lifestyle content too. I love to travel. I would love to share more of that, and I think my WordPress, my writing blog, is a lot similar to this as well, but just in writing form. But yeah, it's been hard to find the balance between how can I be an online personality and presence when I have to wear the therapy hat, and just this like fear of not fear, but just like the potential discomfort if clients were to like come across me, um, which I don't know if I would feel anything about it, but I don't really know how other people would feel. So I think that was my dilemma with knowing like how to approach coming back into the online space as a therapist. And I also like really am interested in performing, in entertainment, and like crazily enough, like acting, modeling, um, and so I really am like considering like maybe going back on TikTok and seeing if I could reignite some content on there, and I don't know, scoping out like job opportunities, acting or performing or something like that. And I think that like I've never really talked about, I've never really felt this like desire to like have a legacy to leave behind. Um, I think it's kind of come up here and there, but I've also been very private in my life the past few years, and there's a big part of me that just wants to keep it that way and have a simple life and kind of just live in like a rural slash suburban area, and you know, break away from social media, break away from um, like smartphones and stuff like that. Like there is that kind of desire, and it's not so much that I want to be famous. It's like I want to. I think I just always had like with dancing or with like being funny and comedy, and like those are also my interests. So I feel like there's just always been like this spark in me that I've always been expressive and animated, and um, I would love to just like as an art, like kind of like as an artist, explore acting. And I think that I would just like love to see how that is, and maybe do improv classes or acting classes. And I think especially like even with modeling, because I'm so unique and different in how inclusive advertisement is now, I think that it could be really cool and I could actually have some opportunity there. Um, but again, not just to be seen and to be recognized, but because I think it just is fun. It would be fun for me. Like, I think I'd always like to take pictures. I'd always like to feel good in my own skin, of course. And, like, I don't know. I think when people have big dreams like that, it can seem really like, that's a far reach. And I kind of have had this, like, little thing in my mind, like, I feel like I do really good in reality TV because my facial expressions are really funny, and, like, I don't know. So that's, like, been going on in my head, especially recently, and, like, how do I do that while being a counselor? I don't know. But I really have a lot of passions. I have a lot of drive and interest, and I feel like now's the time. Like, for some reason, I'm 30. I want to explore all these things while I'm young, while I'm, like, younger than I'll ever be. Like, I could do any of these things and pursue any of these things at any age, but I do feel like I've reached a time where, like, I want to branch out. I want to do things that I've been thinking about doing for years now, and it's hard to know, like, how to start, how to go about it. And because, like I said, because there's such, like, big dreams, it's like, it saying it out loud for other people to hear is kind of sounds like a reach or something. But there's something in me that just feels like this is something that I want to keep exploring, whatever that looks like. And I just think it would be really fun to act and to perform and to express, and it's just one of those things where you're like, oh, maybe I could do really good at that. Maybe I would really enjoy that if I got the opportunity to immerse myself in those worlds. So those are some updates. Oh, I got a new cat. He's so cute. His name's Alfie, and I got him in March. So my cat that I had now, Donnie, she's still getting used to him. So since I went from sharing a lot about my life on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, and being a public figure in a sense, on the brink of, blowing up or whatever, and then kind of stopping once I started grad school, and then kind of coming in and out, not knowing how that was going to look as I continued my career. As I was taking breaks and healing throughout my mid to late 20s also, I was noticing that privacy is important to me, and so having a legacy, I feel like that's coming up a lot in my circles of what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind and stuff, and I've never really I never really thought about any of that, because I also had this self-consciousness about what I had already put out there into the universe and my digital footprint or whatever, and kind of feeling the less of me out there the better, and I'd rather people just I die and then no one remembers me after that type of thing, besides the people I know and love, and it made me feel a lot better to think that way. But there's this saying that's if you have a calling, it will keep calling, and there has really always been this desire in me to share, whether that's using myself as an example, or talking about motivational speaking, or sharing my story in hopes to help other people, or even just expressing, performing. There is that in me where it's what I'm doing now, not that it's not enough, but there is so much more to me and more in me that makes me me, rather than just who I am as a friend in my personal life and just who I am in my career. It's I have always had this desire to feel like the world is my oyster, experience a bunch of things, experience things that I am curious about, noticing that my dreams are a lot bigger than I thought they would be. Sometimes you think these certain dreams that seem so big and out of reach, maybe I'll just let them go, and that's all they are, and they're just dreams. But I don't know, I just had this feeling I want to keep going. I want to keep exploring what this is that I'm going through and that I am curious about, even for fun. Even just to have fun and explore new hobbies and meet new people and have new experiences. I think I'm someone that loves change. I think I need it to kind of help me feel refreshed sometimes and change it up a little. And if I were to have a legacy, I would want to share what I know and share what I've learned and utilize the gifts I've been given, whether it's writing or whether it's making people laugh, going after what I want. I don't know. I'm I guess it's that debating between would I regret never publishing any books? Would I regret never going after certain interests? Or will I feel too exposed? Will I feel too seen? Will I feel that's no one else's business but mine? Will I feel embarrassed? So that's definitely where my head's been at recently, and hope some of you are still around, because it's been like 5, 6 months since I came on here. Kind of went into hiding for a bit. But and I've said this like every video too, but I really am going to try to post more consistently. I want to like really, really tap into my creative endeavors. So, thank you. I'll see you soon.